Speaking of athletics as well, I meant to talk about this before when it happened, but we weren't even doing a podcast again since we're being lazy. But
Yeah.
um, this is another topic that's come up a lot of times, right? And this is a combination kind of. I mean, the big thing that started it was LeBron James Jr. or Bronny, as we all know him, getting into the NBA because not necessarily because he doesn't have the skill to be in the NBA, because he definitely has NBA talent. Maybe he got in there prematurely more than he would have if he wasn't associated with LeBron
Yeah,
being his
LeBron.
dad. But that can't be debated, right? That's
Yeah.
like a you never know kind of
Yeah.
situation. But it's the whole concept of nepotism, and this came up again because people are finding out with Love Island, and I know that's a crazy blend of NBA and Love Island. But with her name's Leah, right? And her coming from a wealthy background,
Yeah.
um, and how people are now attacking her because they feel like she didn't,
Privilege.
yeah, she's privileged, she didn't deserve the opportunities that she got, whatever. So it's this whole concept of nepotism and people hating it so much. So I wanted to get my opinion on it, but I feel like I've been leading a lot of the topics, and I know I'm springing this on you freestyle right now. But what's your opinion on that whole concept and the things that we've seen from are people that don't benefit from nepotism and their opinions on it?
I feel like a lot of things what a lot of things boil down to in life is just like people being haters. Like even with the topics that we were just talking about, right? Like with Simone and just a lot of things in life. Like it all kind of boils down. Like even with the being Black American, right? Like a lot of things where anger and like comes from all boils down to, in my opinion, jealousy and like it's some type of like you're just a hater. Because I feel like so many people say what they would do if they had this money, what they do would do, blah 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 blah. But it's like you're not there. You don't know what that's like having that. And like I know for a fact, so many people who act like they would be such like these activists and all these other things. If they were in those positions where they had the money, they wouldn't. Like they just want it. They just saying that because they don't have it, and they want to have a reason to talk down on somebody who has it. You know. So I feel like with nepotism, all you see online, like people love buzzwords. When the whole generational wealth thing became like a big topic and people talking about like generational wealth, getting generational wealth and like seeing people succeed from it. That's all everybody said they wanted. Like, oh, I want to have just generational wealth for my kids. Like, I want to work hard for them. Blah 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 blah. You see people online who are still living with their parents at 30 years old, bragging about it. Like, oh, you guys are just mad because my parents helped me. Like, basically, essentially bragging about having generational, in a way, like it's not generational wealth, but having
It is. It
generational help.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't have that luxury, right? So you'll see people bragging about it, right? And you'll see all those things, all the concept about how they want to do that for their kids and all these other things. But when people seeing that all the things that they are speaking into existence, that's probably not going to happen because they're lazy. You know, so many people like to manifest and talk about things and instead of actually doing it. So you see so many people talking about the things that they want but are not actually going to succeed. They're seeing someone in real time benefiting from all the things that they claim they want to do, but then they're mad at it. So everybody wants generational wealth, but then they see somebody like a Bronny benefit from generational wealth. They benefit from nepotism. They benefit from a parent doing so great in life that they're able to like have like their kids succeed and like have their dreams, like all the things that they want in life, accomplish their dreams. They're seeing it happen in real time and they're hating on it.
Yeah.
But then that's all you see in their tweets. Oh, I can't wait for my kids to live like a luxurious life and blah blah blah. But when they're seeing a kid living a luxurious life, they're hating on it. So it's literally delusional. That's like the theme of this podcast: delusion, jealousy. Cause it's crazy. Like, is that not the goal in life? Is that not why you're working so hard? So like the next generation could have it a little easier. Like for me, it's just crazy. Like he's still proving himself. It's not like he's out there not doing anything. Like some of the points that he's scoring is better than some of these people who don't have nepotism. Like they're trying to clown him because he's not dropping 20. Like I don't think people are necessarily expecting him to do that. Like
Correct.
he's not gonna be like he's
It's
not
not
gonna fill
LeBron.
LeBron's shoes, and that's okay. But he's still a great basketball player. He's still putting up like I think he put like 9 points or something recently. That's literally more than some people who literally didn't benefit from nepotism. Like so like I don't understand, like it's just people are just haters, honestly. And like the same thing with Leah. Like you guys will love to be from Calabasas, living in a luxurious house, and her parents are literally immigrants. Like they literally, it's not like they were born into that. Like she's just the first generation, like getting that benefit. Like why are you guys mad about that? Like she's like she's supposed to just what take away go live on the streets and just not benefit from the life that her parents built. Like people are haters. Like that's all. They're mad because they're tweeting these things from somewhere in a low ceiling room, popcorn ceilings, like probably a 2-bedroom house. They probably share a room with maybe 2 of their other siblings. Their parents is like 2 feet from them in their room. Like that's the people. Like we gotta remember that's the type of people who are sitting on here mad. Like they're of course you're mad. You're hot and bothered. You're at home hot and bothered. You have no privacy. You have no space. You're in a cramped small room, and she has this whole beautiful house. It's just that's what all it is. It's just jealousy. The people swear they're activists. They swear it's just because she's privileged, and I just want her to recognize her privilege, and I just want her to help others. Like why? You don't gotta do shit. You don't gotta do nothing. Like, so it's just jealousy. That's all this. No, these people swear they care about humanity and they're humanitarians. At the same time, they're bullying people online. These humanitarians are they care about the others, but all they're doing is degrading others.
All
How
day.
ironic.
Yeah, I agree. It's the whole thing where people hate something that they don't benefit from, right?
Literally it.
Like, what it really boils down to is, of course, there's nuance and circumstance that all plays into why this might be the case. But people are upset because their parents weren't successful or successful enough to help them in the way that another person's parents were able to help them. And that's really what it comes down to, because you don't see anybody that benefits from nepotism complain about nepotism, right? You also don't see other people that have done well enough for themselves to be happy complain about nepotism. Like, I would say we're benefits of nepotism in a way. Not even in a way, we just are,
Anyway,
right?
like,
Our parents worked hard to get what they got, and then
and our grandparents
we have
worked
a
hard.
better
Like
start.
we're just from a lineage of people who
Every
worked hard.
generation, it gets better and better
Like
and better.
even us living in New Jersey is the results of our ancestors who came up here through the Great Migration. Like the type of like hustle and tenacity it has to take for you to leave your family behind and move up here. Like my grandma, who she moved up here when she was 16, she did it on her own. Like my 2 other like great aunts, they were up here too, but I think they all came at different times. Like she literally left home alone and did it on her own.
Yeah, I feel
That's coming from a line of people who literally took risk and look at the output. Like, you know.
and that's what it should be. And I think that the anger is misdirected, right? Instead of
Yeah, be
being
mad at your parents.
Yeah, instead of being mad at somebody else's parents for them doing their job, be mad at your parents for them not doing their job. And I know there's a lot of circumstance again and nuance that goes in with that. We don't know what situations people were placed in, but in general, yeah, look at the situation my dad was put in. He was on welfare and food stamps, and now I'm not going to put out their income.
Yeah, it was
But
high.
it's up there. It's definitely up there, and it put me in a position to be up there as well and get multiple degrees and be in a luxurious apartment and pay for a significant ring and all that kind of stuff. All these different things that I've been able to afford. Yeah, the part of that has been due to nepotism because I benefited from it, right? But the people that don't benefit from it, they just have misdirected anger. Like I'm not saying don't be mad, but be mad at your parents because they didn't put you in a situation.
That's why the debate comes. Like people shouldn't even have kids if they're in certain situations. Like it sounds harsh, but it's true.
It's true.
Like why are you gonna bring your kids into freaking poverty? Like that's so selfish.
Now, granted, I know that people's argument is going to be, well, there's some people that get opportunities and they don't deserve it, and they took it away from people that did deserve it. But unfortunately, that's part of the way that this all works, right? Like if your parents put you in a situation, money, it comes with power, and power can get you certain things. And if your parents did have money and they had power, they could get you those same opportunities as well. And I understand that because we get some sort of nepotism benefit. There's nothing crazy.
I look, you got it with my current company I'm working at. Like my mom works there, so she kind of put in the word. Like that's a benefit.
That's a benefit.
Why would I not use that resource? Like who wouldn't? You would be crazy not to.
Right.
Like she just gave the good word. But my resume still had, like they weren't just gonna hire anybody. So my resume still spoke for itself. Same with LeBron, like and Bronny. They weren't just gonna bring any bum person in. Like
because look at Michael Jordan's kid.
He's still paying the work. Yeah.
He didn't end up anywhere.
Yeah, like it's not like it's just like a handed to you because you have that connection. But lots of times you still have to have like the work ethic and the.
And even certain things that are handed to people, it's just
that's just what it is.
Right?
Like, I'm gonna hate on somebody for using their resources.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not a billionaire's kid. I can't get just a lump sum of like $100 million.
Or
like,
a business passed down.
I used to live close to Rutgers University, and that's obviously the #1 university in the state in terms of just like public university. Obviously, we have Princeton, so but used to always see the foreign exchange kid and professor's kid or these kids because my brother goes there, you would see the kids in the cars they pull up in, right? Like
That's
it's
why that's always a running
insane.
joke about foreign exchange students. Like they be dripped down, like they be coming to class with the Rolexes and
Yeah,
the
like it's
Louis
insane.
Vuitton bags.
And I'm not a product of that. I didn't get that benefit. Like, but I'm not gonna also hate on it
Yeah, like
because
I
why,
admire it.
right?
Maybe
Like that's
I'm like
fire.
that's
That's
lit.
fly.
Like
Like your
yeah,
parents did their shit, and maybe it's you. Maybe you did it yourself. But either way, like that's fly. Like I'm not like what would I look like hating on somebody else's success?
yeah,
That looks crazy to me. No matter how you got it, whether it was handed to you or you worked for it, I don't care, right? People try to bring up all these different things, like Steve Jobs, his parents gave him $100,000. Good, good for them.
yeah. Like,
And look what the fuck he did with it, right?
they did their
Like
job
he
as a
made one of the
parent.
most important companies of all
Yeah.
of human
So clearly
history.
he wasn't just some dummy. Like he still was very smart and he still was able to do what he needed to do. Like that's
But
why you
me,
have an iPhone right now in your hand.
I didn't get $100,000 loan. But what would I look like complaining about that?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense to me, right? So
Yeah.
I'm a benefit of nepotism for sure, of course, as you should be.
Yeah.
But I'm also not as much of a beneficiary as some of these other people. But I don't hate on those people.
Yeah.
So that same logic should apply down, right?
Like
Like
hating's not. Like, I think what people need to get through their little thick brains is that hating is not doing anything for life. Like you could spew all this hate, but at the end of the day, your life, like you still gotta go to sleep and you're still you. That's what I just don't understand. Like what do people gain? Like that's what I've been wanting to ask people like all the time when I see them like leaving hate comments and doing stuff. Like what are you gaining from this exactly? Like that's what my new favorite comment on Twitter. I mean on TikTok. If somebody would say something like being a hater, and somebody would comment and be like, and the world's still spinning. Like this one girl was like, I hate that this girl does this, blah blah blah, and then the girl was like, and yet the world is still spinning. Like that's my
nobody
new
care.
favorite comeback on TikTok because it's like people will say all this stuff. Nothing about your life has changed. Listen to you made that comment. Nothing about the person that you're sending hate to's life has changed. Like they're still rich and you're still poor. Like,
Yeah, like because you see it all the time. Like that's
the world is
literally
still
the
spinning.
goal, right? Like this is what we're doing this for.
People
Like
literally put on their mood boards all this like yachts and travel and stacks of money, but then when you see people actually living the life that you want, you're mad.
right, and you can get these things yourself and live that life for yourself without anybody handing it to you. But I don't know about any of y'all if y'all care about your future kids or your current kids. But most of the benefit of the work that I'm putting in is not going to go to me. I'm going to benefit substantially, and I've done so already. But who's really going to benefit is
Yeah.
my kids. It's not going to necessarily be me. Like,
Like we plan our trips like in advance, and we was ready. We were already looking up into like 2027, and like like we were getting married in 2026, and we'll be 30 that year. So like we want to start having kids around then, and we were already talking about like, oh, maybe the kid could come with us to Tokyo or come to us, with these places. Like look how we're already like looking forward to our kids benefiting from this work and like wanting them to travel earlier than I did. Like my first trip out the country, I was 4. Like I would love to bring like our kid when they're like 1 or less than 1, like on these trips, even though they won't remember it, right? But just them being there, like I know they'll like always respect that and like love that we like included them in these things, and just giving them the keys so then they could be better than we are. Like isn't that not the life goal?
that is literally the goal. And the fact that people hate on these situations,
Yeah.
and I get it, you're upset, and that's fine. Be upset, but be upset at your parents.
Yeah.
So redirect all that anger that you have towards somebody else because they landed on landed on a reality TV show.
Yeah.
Redirect that anger to your parents and be upset and ask them why they didn't put you in a Calabasas house. Don't put it on somebody else's parents because they put them in a Calabasas house. That just doesn't make sense.
Like, how you mad at somebody else's success?
Like, sorry, their parents did what they not. I don't mean to say it like that because people like being a good parent is just making sure you can do everything for your kid. It's not measured in being 100 millionaire.
Yeah, no.
But at the same time, you're upset at what your parents did at the end of the day because if they did the same thing that their parents did, then you wouldn't be complaining, right? So you're saying what your parents did for you is not good enough, and you're upset what your parents did for you. That's really what it is. You're upset with your parents. So be upset with your parents then, and then record that conversation or have that conversation. Show us, and just have that be that.
See how your parents feel about you being mad at them for not being rich
on the phone that they're paying for.
Yeah, more than likely, yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. The whole nepotism thing. Like that's the goal. The goal is to be a product of nepotism or to be the person that provides the nepotism.
Yeah, and you made a good point too, like how like a lot of stuff that you work for, you're not even really even gonna see. Like even the whole concept of life insurance is so your people who are still alive are good. Like you don't benefit from life insurance. Yeah. And people be having $1 million policies. Like when unfortunately someone dies and then you able to get the benefit from the policy, people be getting like millions of dollars off those policies. Like the person who took out the policy is gone. Like they're not even benefiting from that. So it's not the whole point of life. So it's just so I'm telling you, I be feeling like I'm an anomaly in this earth.
Yeah, like people want
Truly.
because what do you want to have kids to have your kid have the same life or worse life? Why
Some
would you?
people do, because some people are literally like that deranged that they be wanting their kids to be just as miserable as they were. Like, oh, I had to do this, so you got to
Yeah,
do it. Like some people literally be putting
I
that
got beat,
shit.
so now I gotta
Yeah,
beat
so now I
you.
gotta beat you. I had to do this. I had to help my parents pay the rent at their house, so now you gotta help me pay the rent. Like that's evil. You know how it affected you, and now you want your kid to deal with that. So some people are really like kind of weird like that, where they're so malicious that they kind of want their kid to suffer the same way that they did. So that's like some other level of like derangedness that I'm not really too familiar with, but it's just craziness.
Yeah,
So many messed up people in this world. Like I love life and I love being on this planet and like I love people, but I don't at the same time I don't like people, and I just feel like it's just like so unfortunate that this world is so like. I mean, I think the best thing to do is to like set boundaries, have your peace. Like I try to not to be on the internet as much these days because I like you called it out, and I acknowledge it myself. I'm very self aware, but it is like, it's like you're just so hooked sometimes that like even though you know it's bad, you're still like going. But like it's really just the internet. Because I feel like the second I'm offline and it's just me and you, like I'm like in the same bubble. Even when we travel and I'm not getting people's thoughts, I'm good. But once people start talking and I start hearing people's thoughts, and it really is just the people, uneducated people. Because sometimes people at work will be talking, and I'm like, okay, like you guys sound just as normal as I do. Because well, no, duh, we're all in the same small percentage of people in this world who are educated, well traveled. So it's just like you have to just I gotta like work on setting boundaries with the uneducated weirdos in the world. Like whenever I have conversations with people who are like minded, who are in the same situation as me, educationally, like well traveled, money wise, then the conversations usually are a lot different. But I keep framing a lot of people that you're on the internet with as a majority. So once I'm separated from them, like bring back segregation. Just kidding. Bring back classism. No, I just mean like separate me from them. I need
the
to be
blacks from the
away.
whites.
No, the dummies from the smart people. I need to stay away. Like that's all. Like bring whatever system is created to keep us separated. I just need that to be enforced. I just can't be around those people.
Did they put that in the in one of the things when we were in DC?
What?
It wasn't the Bill of Rights, right? What was it? It was in something. Remember, it was like we don't want no
Oh
idiots.
yeah,
We don't
yeah,
want
yeah.
anybody. Yeah, that's what we need.
Yeah, we need that.
We need no idiots, no dummies,
I,
no
I
nothing.
believe in classism. Get me away from anybody who just dumb and haters. Like I can't be around that negativity.
Yeah,
And I'm speaking from a place of privilege. I'm not gonna not acknowledge being privileged in the sense of like what our parents did for us. But am I supposed to slip my wrist because of the life that I was born into? Like
because you know
what
what
do you want me to do?
the one thing is where I can speak about from my dad's perspective. Never, obviously, he grew up in a terrible situation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I should say terrible. I'll let him
Less
put the
than
actual
maybe
adjective
ideal.
on it.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely less than ideal situation, government assistance and everything else. Never once in my entire life have I ever heard him complain about what his mom did for him. Never. Literally never. There was no complaining about some other kid with nepotism. There was never nothing about any of that.
Yeah.
Even to this day.
If anything, the type of stuff like when your dad talking about it, if anything, he kind of like admired it. Like he was talking about like the clothes, like how girls were clowning him because like the same outfits and like how he would see, like he would kind of like talk about like other people, like, and it almost sounded like it was just like admiring. It wasn't even hating. It was like, oh, like the kids had the cool stuff and they had cars and this and that. It was not.
Yeah.
It was he's not. It was like not an ounce of hater when he talks about those
Never.
things.
And his brother had better stuff than him and he never talked bad about that or whatever. Like there was never any sort of attack on other people that significantly benefited from nepotism or had a better upbringing. Never once was there ever a complaint about what his mom did for him ever. Right. And we talked about this concept before with people that have a positive outlook on things and do positive things and don't speak negatively about other people and don't move based off negativity, their lives pan out a certain way.
Exactly.
And obviously, again, I'm very sensitive about putting their financial situation out there because he wouldn't want me to, but it's significant. And there's a reason for that, right? We've said on this.
It's crazy too. I feel like even he be like,
Damn.
yeah,
He
like
says
when
all
me
the
and him were
time.
talking at your cousin's baby shower, I think, like he be like saying like. He was talking
Shit
about
is
like the
crazy.
checks. And he's just like, it still feels crazy. Sometimes he was like, have you seen them checks? Sometimes he's like, it's just whoa. Like he's still like in shock because it's like but like you said, it's like this humility that he's always had throughout
Right.
his life, and obviously his life reflects that. Like being a hater just gets you nowhere in life.
Yeah, because imagine he hated
Yeah,
and put
and
all his
focus
focus
on
on
that
that.
instead of like focusing on building his life the way he built it. Like
Meanwhile, I got arcades, pool tables,
yeah, like
home gyms, all types of
movie,
shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
movie
movie
theater,
projectors and
yeah,
theaters and all kinds of stuff in that in the house.
yeah.
So
And obviously, the house is valued what is valued. Like that's not like that's anybody would boast about the
fucking
house.
7-figure value on the
Yeah,
house.
over $1 million. Like, and anybody would be like, "Oh shit!" Like, I like basically you are a millionaire technically, right? Like,
You are.
and I'm sure that just money wise that he's made throughout his life, he already passed that, right? But it's like, I don't know what his retirement money looks like, but it's like you wouldn't even get that vibe from him at all.
Ever. Never in your life. Not in the clothes he wears, not in nothing.
Yeah,
And never was
he a hater.
a hater.
Yeah.
Never.
Cause I do feel like people who hate on stuff, they don't even have the time to like. They're so focused on the internet making videos, they're not even like focusing on their own lives. Like so much of this parasocial stuff, I really do feel like people are not focusing on their own lives. Like I feel like we're gonna see a uptick in like people literally not doing shit with their lives. It's
Oh, for
because
sure.
they're just so focused on living through everybody else's and hating on everybody else's that instead of getting the life that they want, they're
Even
fixating on the internet.
even to the extent where the internet is a ATM machine, right? Like even, we're not hating on anybody ever. Never in my life would I ever hate on anybody because
Yeah, I'm not.
statistically I'm doing better than most people. So
I need
what would I hate on?
I will. That's a statement I want to make. Like I've never, because people, I feel like people out there will try to throw someone being a hater. Like I just want to make that clear for anybody out there listening. I've never hated on a single soul on this earth. There's nothing a single person has looks like whatever that I wanted to look like or wanted to be or wanted to have.
Yeah, I
Just want to make that clear because people will swear that people try to throw that hater card on people when they don't like you
I think hating is speaking negatively about something or someone
for no reason.
for no reason and they're doing something that you can't do. And that's
Yeah.
definitely not
And that's not true.
Definitely not
Not true at all.
I shit on
Clearly.
everybody that I'm doing better than.
Clearly,
And
that's a conversation for another day.
mostly for good reason. Yeah, it's
It's crazy.
crazy.
And they're definitely like
We
we're gonna see a huge uptick in people not doing anything.
don't talk shit about people, but you can tell the mentality difference even in if I'm going to speak my opinion because I don't have Twitter and when I use Instagram that's just pictures so that don't count. But I don't have any sort of I don't record videos and talk about my opinion on Instagram either, and I don't have a TikTok. So I don't have much social media at all. So the mentality is even different, right? Because there's people that are professional haters and they get paid to be professional haters, like Skip Bayless, for example, who's
Yeah.
made millions of dollars being
Tasha K.
professional hater.
Tasha K.
I mean, she's not a good example because she got sued, but
Yeah,
Skip Bayless.
but I'm saying like her whole claim
Yeah.
to fame is being a hater and talking shit.
But the mentality is even different because if I'm going to shit on people, I'm going to shit on people on a platform that, we're 4 subscribers away from getting paid for.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't been paying attention. Where are we at?
We're at 464. I'm sorry, 494. Or 490. I'm sorry, what did I just say? We're at 496. I'm all over the place.
It's 500 now?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I never realized the rules changed. Because it used to be 1,000 back in my day.
Yeah, they changed it.
Back in my day.
They added extra criteria, but it's 500 subscribers or like,
It's watch time, right?
yeah,
Oh, okay, cool,
whatever.
cool. I haven't been paying attention.
So
Good for us.
if I'm going to give my opinion, the mentality is even different. That I'm going to give my opinion on a camera and sit in front of people and risk being judged and everything else to get paid. Other people are just being haters on the internet
On
for
a burner
free,
account.
giving Elon Musk more money because you're a user and they're going to put you in a stockholder share report saying we got X amount
Yeah.
of users. But that's the difference, right? The mentality is even different. So people are complaining about nepotism and people getting money when you're not even trying to monetize your own opinion.
Yeah.
So it's, the mentality is different, but
That's why I do respect a professional hater. I will respect the Tasha K and the Skip Bayless just because at least they're monetizing their hate to get the lives that they want. I will respect them more than I will respect a person on the internet just hating.
yeah.
Like, it's insane.
Because hating with money is different than hating with no money.
Yeah. Cause
And money's
I'm
not
sure they know
everything,
they're a
but-
hater too, but they're like, all right, it pays the bills.
Yeah.
But you just hating just to hate. Like, are you not embarrassed?
Crazy.